it was made by the company, same company that built these wheels that went on the Titanic. An alternate, they have alternate stations, you know, that you can be outside the pilot house and have an alternate wheel. But this same wheel was on the Titanic. So that's the thing with the boat. I just all little different things that I incorporated that I knew about in my career, or anything that was an article on that, you know, that I can incorporate into it.
When you found the boat, it was just a shell, or
Pretty much the structure was here, but it's like no handrails and no air, you know, all this is wood. All the interior I completely, except the captain's quarters, that I didn't replace that. It was, I liked the wood that was in there, but there's probably 5 or 6 types of wood in the boat, at least. And it all came from here locally, supplied by Dale Clark, that's out in Eastman. He's got his own mill that he built the cabinets. He supplied all the woodwork that went into the boat. And 2 of the guys that helped me refurbish it was out in Eastman. And they're local.
how often do you take it out?
Just occasionally. With me working out on the river, it's kind of like coming home and getting on here and busting a holiday. You know, to go out riding. I've been riding for 30 days,
Right.
45. So I just kind of look at it as home.
It just happens to flow.
Yeah, it just happens to flow. Yeah. There have been some exciting times too. I guess I've done about everything that could be done out on the river. I've been involved in about everything you can be involved in. But that's what I chose to do in my career, was not to be, I didn't try to conquer anything. I didn't have time to conquer it because I wanted to learn as much. I wanted to learn something about all of it. And if I ever got to the point where I needed to know more, I'd surround myself with people that knew that. That would, would help me out. So I just, I learned enough that I could look at something and tell if it was right or wrong. I might not could do that, but I could tell you if you're doing it right or wrong. And that's basically what I set out to do in my management career and being in business for myself. That was my business approach to it, was surrounding myself with people that has the knowledge of that I could depend on.
Yes, sir.
And it worked. It worked for me. To me, it was a good business philosophy.
You've been in this particular spot for 3 years.
About three years.
Are you from Caldwell?
No,
No.
I'm originally from Mississippi. I was born and raised in Mississippi in a place called Stewart, Mississippi, just east of Winona, Mississippi. And that's where I started my river career. And from there, I went to Peoria, Illinois, in business ventures, and from Peoria to St. Paul, Minnesota. I spent 35 years in St. Paul, Minnesota, in business and marine management. And so I just recently, as of 6-7 years ago, came back to Vicksburg and I stayed at Vicksburg for several years, and I heard of this particular boat through someone else, through an associate of mine, and so he was going to buy it, but it didn't work for him, so I drove over one afternoon and was sitting up on the highway, and I walked over it for about 30 minutes inside and out. And being familiar with marine equipment and boats as I was, or at least I thought I was, I was able to determine pretty quick that what was there was put together well. And it was a good foundation for what we see now. And I saw all the potentials in it. And that's when I acquired the boat from the Kehees. And so started to work on it. Lived in a motorhome there for about a year. And we got to the point where I could live on it, or live on here. And took another year to get it whipped into shape, and then we finally launched it here at Rivington, and I got together with Mr. James Davison, which owns the place here. He used to have a yacht of his own here, and so I was able to work out something with Mr. Davison, and here I am.
There you are.
And so everything evolved from that. I started doing maintenance and that sort of thing. It's not big time stuff, but it's stuff that I enjoy doing.
What's your favorite part of the boat? Do you have a favorite part?
I think probably the galley and the lounge area, because it's comfortable. There's a lot of and people say, what do you like about being on this boat and being where you are after your life has been on a boat? What why do you like this? I guess that's been my life, but there is so much serenity that I've found on the water that you can't really find other places. And this place here is like you 1,000 miles from nowhere. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I find a lot of serenity here, and that to me is, it's good.
Yeah. But with a view like this, I can imagine.
Yeah, in the afternoon, the wind's not blowing, that water will get just like glass. And you'll see fish. I've seen spoonbill cats, probably that long, just jump straight up out of the water right around here. And there's all kinds of fish in here, catfish. You see them now when the weather's real hot like it is now. There's not much fishing. They won't fight. It's too hot. But it's been over on that island over there. That's posted, of course. That's Corps, the Army Corps of Engineers. But there's a lot of wildlife over there. A lot of it on that island. And I got deer. I had deer that comes here. Comes down there. There's a lot of deer in this area right through here. And all types of birds. I did have a blue martin, a whole slew of blue martin that invaded me here for about 2 to 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. But they've since kind of gone away. I wanted the boat so that if I wanted to go to St. Paul, Minnesota, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or down around the coast of Florida, all I'd say, crank them up and turn them loose. And that's pretty much where I got it now. And that's what I accomplished. And then you say, well, what are these two things out there on the front? Well, those are called tow knees. And tow knees are what we use when we face the boat up against a barge. That's what those knees are for. something called tow knee, and they weren't on here. We made those and installed them. I wanted the boat to resemble a towboat. I was going to have a river cruiser in the form and the lights of a towboat, a push boat. And that's why I went and put those on there. I'll never use them, but at least it's not too many people that has a boat like this, or a cruiser, or a yacht, whatever you may want to label it. I call it a river cruiser.
Home.
Yeah, it's home. And some people say, well, I wouldn't live on a boat. But that's why they make vanilla and chocolate ice cream. People like this, people like that. Had a contract with the Army Corps of Engineers that I worked for during the summer, and so he and I would get together quite a bit for dinner, and so we were talking one day, and he said, bring me a picture, and I'll be glad to make a print of it. And that's what he did. So that has a lot of meaning to it there, and. This old clock goes way back, quite a while back. And I've got some pictures that represents me and what I've done. But if I would say, and I got a sign down there in 1787 or something like that on this site, nothing happened.
I like that. I like that a lot.
But anyhow, just a lot of one of the main memories is accomplishing what it turned out to be. A lot of hard work, and I don't take all of that credit myself. I credit that with local people here that helped me do it. And they were responsible for the work. I oversaw all of it, but they did the actual work. I did a lot myself, but mainly I directed,
Now you did the layout of the inside, or was that already
the layout was here, but we just redone everything. We just put in new wood, paper. We just totally refurbished it.
Is there anything you would have done differently that you've already done? They say when you build a house, you go back and say, well, I wish I could have.
I don't think that there's anything that I could do different, because you can't change the superstructure.
Right.
And you may get modified some, but the superstructure's gonna be there. And it's like the pilot house, you really can't change it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really want to change it.
No, it's absolutely beautiful.
And the captain's quarters are small, but they're very comfortable, very quiet. And I got everything per se on here that you got in your house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the thing that I regret, but there's nothing I can do about that either, is I don't have quite enough room. So I limit myself to personal stuff, per se, here on the boat.